Well, this is another tsunami dream. This is my second. And this one was pretty graphic, pretty real, kind of like hyper real, where you almost feel like you're awake, but you're not. But everything is bright in terms of colors, and you can feel it. There's emotions. Um, so I was in this long hallway, and it was made of glass, uh, like when you're in an aquarium, and they have these long glass, like curved hallways, and it just went on forever and ever, and like at the aquariums, you have water above, and all the fish get to swim around you and above you, but there wasn't any water above us. It was just this very thick glass, like 5 inches thick, and it was completely clear, so you could see right through it. And I remember that we were um, near a coastline, and the coastline was to my right, and I was facing, um, looking down this way, and the coast was to my right. Um, so I don't know if I was north or south. I just remember it was long, and it just kept going and going. You couldn't see the end of the tunnel of the glass, and there was people walking, and kind of like a concourse in a sense. And I saw to the right of me shadow, and I kind of looked over to the corner of my eye, and the shadow kept growing, and it kept going up, up and up and up like this, and it kept growing, as it was moving in, and there was a shadow to it. And the time of day was like twilight, just before it got dark, so it wasn't completely dark, but it wasn't light. It wasn't really bright, but I saw a shadow, and there wasn't any noise, but I could just see it developing. And it was 600 to 1,000 feet tall or more. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And the color was like a green, but a dark green turquoise blue with black mixed into it. And it got quiet. Like everybody stopped. At first, nobody really noticed until it got really, really big. And it wasn't over the top of us. It was far enough away, 20 miles, 25 miles, but it was big enough where it was like, oh no. And 25, they got to 10 miles and 5 miles away. But even then, it was so massive because the structure I was in was probably 30 feet tall by 50 feet wide, somewhere in that, you know, 30 by 30 or, you know, I was in a pretty big hallway, all made of glass. And I looked up, and as it started to get super close, I thought in my head, I'm going, um, this is it. Everybody started panicking. First, it was shock. Nobody moved. And then everybody started trying to run. And I thought in my head, I go, well, this is it. And I'm thinking, there's no point in running because I can't outrun this thing. It was taller than a skyscraper. Um, and then I had this flash vision of like being in a car, a van, or something like that. And it's like, okay, and there'll be oxygen inside the van and I could survive a little longer. And I was kind of like, no, it game over, you know. And then everything went black and it flashed, and I ended up on a airport runway, but it was kind of like out in the middle of a field, um, and there wasn't any planes, and then the runway went off to my right. We were kind of at the end, and I looked around. There was like 20, 30, 50 people or so, and they are all dressed differently, some unique, uh, and we're all different. And that was one thing that really kind of hit me. I went, okay, we're all different, like colors, nationalities, different languages. And then this car came in, like 70s, 80s movies, did a big fishtail skid to a stop, flung open the door, very dramatic entrance. And the guy got out, and he had long hair, he had a beard, There was patches on his beard. It wasn't full, and he had a hat on. And he's like, "Hey, everybody, I've been waiting for you." And I got this feeling, and everybody was like, "Oh, look, it's him," and thought, "Okay, is that Christ?" And he wasn't that tall, but he was very charismatic, and he was hugging everybody, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you." Came over to me, kind of shook my hand, kind of went, "Oh yeah, you," you know, and I thought, "Wow, what a reaction, right?" I thought you'd be, you know, happy to see me. I thought I'd be happy to see him, but that wasn't the case. So I kind of got this doubt, this gut feeling like something's not right. Um, then he led us up to this warehouse, which was off in the distance, away from the runway, and it was a large, um, like a warehouse, a hangar where you could put planes in and stuff. And there was offices inside with glass windows. So it was kind of a hangar slash office. And there was this one girl who had dark hair, brown or black eyes, and kind of olive colored skin. And she kind of, was walking with me. And as we were walking up to the warehouse, the guy changed. He was no longer who he was before, the leader or whatever. He looked like a guy that was a homeless guy that I ended up helping out, giving him some money so he can get food, which, when I gave him money and then I saw him later, he was sitting on a street corner and he was actually eating food, which, that made me happy that I was able to help him, but it made me sad because it's like, I wanted to do more, and in my heart, it kind of grieved me because it was like, I know the guy was happy and he was eating, but um, I felt like, I could help this guy more, and he needed more help, you know. So we went into the warehouse, and there was off to the left, inside, there was a wall, and it had a very long, large window to it, but I couldn't see what was behind it. And there was a door that had a window in it, in the top, like a half glass door, and then a wall to that. And the girl and I went in the door. The guy's like, "Yeah, go in that door." And I'm like, "Okay." So we went in that door. The door closed behind us, but it wouldn't open. I remember to the right of us, there was like these locker doors, but they weren't lockers. They were like wood doors with handles on them, old style handles that had glass on them, like you'd find in a 1920s, 1930s home, with brass fittings. And they were very low to the ground. And as I looked down to see the door handles, there was vents in them, and everything was white, like bright white, like super clean white. And these doors were right next to each other, like in two, and then a wall, and then a three, and then a wall, all down in succession on the right side of the wall. And on the other side was a wall that had windows in it. So I opened one door, and there was streaks of blood and splatter in there. And the guy that was inside said, "Hey, don't look," and he closed the door. And I heard noises in the other one. I went to go open that, and they pulled it closed too. But I also saw blood inside. I go, "This is really weird." And so then the girl said, "Well, let's go down there on the left. There's another door. Let's go check it out." So as we got closer, I could feel like a density, a thickness in the air, and made me feel really uneasy. We finally get down to the door, and I could look inside the glass, and there was this darkness, this thick darkness that was moving, breathing, almost looked like tentacles kind of thing, and I go, "This is bad. This is really evil," you know. And she wanted to open the door, and I said, "Absolutely not." I grabbed her, ran down to the other door where we came in, and I said, "We got to get out of here. This is just overwhelming evil." And I tried to open the door, and it wouldn't open because it was locked, and I kept shaking it and rattling it. Finally, it opened, and we got out. And I closed the door behind me. And it was almost like I could finally breathe again. because it was suffocating in the hallway from the evil. And once we got into the main area, I told the girl, I said, we got to get out of here. I mean, we got to get out of the hangar. We got to get out of this whole area. It's really bad. And then I woke up. But it stuck with me for a few days, and I wrote it down so I could read it back to you guys. What does it mean? I don't know. Anybody got any ideas? Post it up. But it's a second tsunami dream, and a lot of people seem to be getting the same dreams. Not all same details, but the tsunami thing, yeah. So what does it mean? I don't know. Pray, ask for forgiveness, and run to Jesus.